Invincible is perfect. Okay, well, not quite.
Cue the music.
Where you going? Where?
It's no secret that superhero adaptations have had a rough few years, but amidst all the chaos, the CGI, and the unnecessary cameos, Invincible burst through and broke that trend.
Who's next?
From way back in 2021, when I watched Omni-Man destroy the Guardians of the Globe and thrust his son headfirst into a train, I knew it was special. But how? And what made it different from the competition? My name's and today we'll be trying to understand what makes Invincible so perfect. I described Invincible as perfect. In fact, that title is probably the reason you're here. But as I said earlier, it's misleading. Perfection is complicated. It's something we as a collective strive for but few ever truly achieve. As an adjective, it means to have all the desirable elements or characteristics to be as good as it's possible to be. As a verb, it means completely free from faults or defects. Here are some pieces of media I'd describe as perfect. The Death Note manga, Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, To Pimp a Butterfly, and of course, The Batman. Now I say all of these things to answer the question, do I think Invincible is on the same level as all of those? No. No, I don't. But although I don't think the series fits any definition of perfect, I do have another word I'd use instead to describe the show. Human. Which brings us to the main character.
Oh, shit.
Mark Grayson is one of my favourite characters in recent times. When we're first introduced to him, Mark is a 17-year-old high school student whose lifelong wish has finally come true. He has powers. After waiting for years, he can finally fly, launch a trash bag into space, and follow in his father's footsteps. One of Mark's first scenes is him complaining about the price of comics and then getting beaten up for trying to help a girl out.
I think Amber's been pretty clear about how she feels.
And yeah, the scene is a little cliche and cheesy, but I did enjoy it. Not just because it's fun, but because it helps establish what kind of person Mark is. Somebody who isn't the strongest but is spearheaded and has a good heart, which are traits we begin to see more of as his story unravels. But even more than all of that, this scene was my first sign that I was going to like Mark, as he reminded me of my favourite character, Peter Parker. Peter as a teenager wasn't strong or cool, he was just Peter. A lot of adaptations depict him as shy or a social outcast, when in reality, he was never really any of those things. He had the confidence to ask out girls, even though they said no, and if Flash picked on him, he bit right back. Different from Mark though, after Peter got his powers, he immediately sought fame and fortune, saying that he doesn't care for anybody but himself, Uncle Ben, and Aunt May. Peter's epiphany doesn't happen until he loses one of those important people in his life, and after that, he begins to understand the great responsibility he now has. Mark's epiphany follows a similar principle, but under different circumstances. The alien species known as the Flaxons invade Earth and start gunning civilians down in the middle of the street. Up until this point, Mark had only been in school fights, goofed around at night, and stopped one criminal. So it isn't until he sees these horrors firsthand that he truly understands the responsibility his power has put upon him. With Mark's strength, he holds the hopes and the dreams of every person that needs saving in his very hands. For every Uncle Ben gunned down in the street, and for every elderly lady killed by aliens, Mark begins to understand these powers are for him to protect. I make the comparison of Mark goofing around with his powers and Peter seeking fame and fortune with his to pinpoint exactly why I like these characters. They're both kids who went through traumatic experiences to truly understand their purpose. Neither of them are imbued with some pseudo sense of responsibility from the start. They grow and they change. As the first season continues, we learn about Mark's dynamic with his family, particularly his father, Omni-Man. Omni-Man is a being of immense power. From the depths of space and the planet Viltrum, he came to Earth and took the responsibility of being the planet's protector. And so, he joined the Guardians of the Globe. When we're introduced to Omni-Man, we see him just as Mark and every other human on the planet does, a hero. He serves not only as the source of Mark's strength, but also his ambitions. That devastating power he's shown and the people he's saved puts Omni-Man on a pedestal for Mark. And, in a way, he almost intimidates him. The weight of his heroics weigh heavily on Mark's shoulders, and we can see that when he asks his mum how he can possibly match anything his father has done.
Hey, sweetheart, I get it. You have to move away from the normal life with me and get used to being something more, like your dad.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm worried about. I'm nothing like Dad. After everything he's done, how can I possibly live up to all that?
Who says you have to? You don't have to be the greatest Omni-Man ever. You just have to be the greatest you.
What if the greatest me isn't enough?
Mark, you stupid boy. How could the greatest you not be enough?
Thank you.
This scene fully sold me on Mark. Not only is he relatable, but he feels real. Like I said before, he feels human. The burden of responsibility is something we've all felt before, not to mention the universal pressure of meeting your family's expectations. That's something I've dealt with myself whenever I'm at an important stage in life. Have I done enough? Will my own family be proud of me? Those very questions and the challenges of responsibilities, pressure, are all thrown at Mark whilst he's standing on a rooftop being scolded by his dad in a homemade superhero costume.
Hit me.
What?
Hit me now. Do it. I wasn't ready before. Now I am. I can take it. Come on.
I'm not gonna hit you.
You never hit me before, okay? It scared me. It wasn't too much. I'm strong.
I know you are.
No, you don't! I know you think I can't do this. Hit me and let me prove you wrong. Please just hit me.
Oh, son.
This exchange right here really stood out to me on my rewatch of the show. Just before Mark flew up to that rooftop, he had torn through a building and stopped an armor-cladded thug by himself. He knows he's strong, but that's not what he needs. He needs his dad to know. He needs Omni-Man, the hero, his hero, to know.
I want to do what you do. I want to be just like you.
You will be, son. You will. Wanna die for this planet? Fine! What's 17 more years? I can always start again. Make another kid.
Something we've all felt before is betrayal. It's one of my favorite themes to explore in every piece of media, particularly when it comes to family. The Sopranos, a series I've been hooked on, is all about family and betrayal. A huge mental challenge for Tony Soprano is when his mother and uncle give the green light for him to be killed. That betrayal adds an even deeper layer of hatred to his already strained relationship with his mother.
What you're going through is very painful, I know that.
You get stabbed in the ribs. That's painful. This shit, I don't feel nothing. Nothing. Dead. Empty.
Invincible also takes the theme of betrayal and asks, what happens when a father betrays his son? What happens when a hero betrays those whom he swore to protect? Omni-Man reveals to Mark at the end of Season 1 that he was sent to Earth to weaken the planet for Viltrumite takeover. He reveals that in order for his home planet to become the powerful empire it is, they first had to cull the weak. Omni-Man then goes on to tell Mark that if the Viltrumite Empire takes over, they can make the planet better. They can save lives with new technology, cure cancer, end hunger. All they have to do is submit. And it nearly works too. You can see Mark racing through the options in his head, telling himself that his father is a good man, and there had to be a good reason for all of the pain he's caused. Mark nearly trusts in his father's plan until he asks one question.
No, this doesn't make any sense. You love me. You love Mom. I know you do.
I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
A pet?
This is the only way, Mark.
Don't touch me.
And right there, that's when the true betrayal kicks in. It's not all the murder, the bloodshed, the violence, and the lies. It's not any of those things that truly cut Mark deep. It's the fact that underneath everything, Omni-Man only ever saw them as animals, as pets. Those years of love and care and putting his father on a pedestal were crushed the second Nolan called Debbie a pet. If Mark was to side with his father after that, then he would become the monster. He'd lose the only thing that truly made him invincible: his humanity. Veering away from Mark and Omni-Man, I want to talk about a side character that I barely cared about until recently. Donald is somebody I had little to no interest in. At the end of Season 1, Donald sacrifices himself and lets off an explosion inside a house to try and stop Omni-Man. The sacrifice is ineffective though, as Omni-Man walks away without a scratch. That was as much thought as I had given to the character, until he returned in Season 2. Noticing people feel uneasy at his presence, Donald starts asking questions about the accident, and before long he discovers he's no longer human, he's a machine. When he confronts Cecil, Donald learns he himself made the choice to abandon his memories after sacrificing himself again and again to save people. Despite being a machine, that humanity persists. Despite no longer having a heart, Donald shows compassion time and time again when he puts his life on the line to save others, when he talks a man off the ledge by connecting to his humanity.
I couldn't. I had them erase my memory. That was a mistake. The two of you are helping me to see that now.
How?
Each time I died, each time I was put back together, it was because I helped make this world a little better. We're not our bodies. We're the decisions we make, the lives we change, the people we love. I don't need to forget that. And neither do you.
The writers of Invincible are fantastic when it comes to capturing what it means to be human. Even going back to Mark, back to the moment his father betrays him, breaks him, Mark doesn't stop trying. Thrown through a building, slammed into a train, punched until his teeth fly out. None of those things stop Mark. If Omni-Man is an unstoppable force, then Mark is an immovable object. The blows keep landing, and Mark uses the one thing that separates him from his father, that separates him from every other Viltrumite: his humanity. That word has kept coming up since the beginning of this video. Why do I like Mark Grayson? He's human. How does Mark overcome his father's betrayal and brutality? His humanity. For me, it's the ultimate theme. In every film, comic, piece of art and music I love, that's what I look for: humanity. What do I connect with as a person? Why do we make art? Because we're human, and that's how we express it. Both season finales have Mark test the power of his humanity. The first time, Mark has to find out if it's stronger than his love for his father. That need to do the right thing he's felt reading every issue of Seance Dog, watching all of his heroes' saves. Is that enough to stop his father? And as it turns out, that was the only way he could stop him. I'll ask you, how does a 17-year-old stop a rampaging Viltrumite? The answer is 6 words.
You, Dad. I still have you.
6 words. Each one of them tinged with heartbreak, love, and hope. Invincible doesn't have a chance against Omni-Man, so he abandons the persona. Instead, he reaches out as Mark to Nolan, father to son. And Nolan freezes. He remembers watching his son play baseball. He remembers the joy he felt seeing his boy winning. Those small moments of pure love, pride, and humanity weren't allowed on Viltrum, where their society was built by culling the weak. By using his humanity, Mark helps his father connect with his own, until Nolan just can't take it anymore and does the one thing a Viltrumite never does: abandons his post. Invincible is perfect. Those 3 words are how I started this video. But despite how much I wrote, despite the title of the video, and despite the 3 thumbnail drafts I have claiming otherwise, it's just not true. The truth is, Invincible is messy. From the lack of stylized animation to the shaky scheduling of the show, it can be downright frustrating at times. But more than anything, it's human. In a time where AI is more popular than ever, having a series that focuses so much on humanity and doesn't hold anything back is something we should continue to praise. The passion and love the cast and the crew have for these characters pours through every scene, every page in the script. From the strained dialogue between Mark and Debbie, both of which are still grieving the loss of a man they both thought they knew, to the heroism displayed from unlikely people like Donald and Rex. Invincible does what Spider-Man 2 did for me years ago. Showed me there's a hero in all of us. And whilst it may not be perfect, that very idea is human. But what do you think? Maybe you don't care about Invincible, or maybe you feel the same way as me. Either way, comment and let me know. And make sure you like the video and subscribe. It helps way more than you know. And that was episode 1 of The Web. It's been a long time coming, but I really hope you enjoyed it. There's going to be a lot more videos coming out now, so my little hiatus is over. Oh, and feel free to stick around and keep up with me on Twitter. Now, as usual, thank you for watching, stay safe, and yeah, peace.